Welcome to Flowers of the Forest Workshop, Lesson 2. This is the little section we're working on, and after this lesson you're going to have almost the entire first line. So that's the little chunk we're working on, and we'll tie it into that first chunk we did back in Lesson 1. And again, if you want all the lessons, click on the workshop link below. First 3 lessons are free. And as well, I got some sheet music there, highlighted each chunk that I do for each lesson. So if you want to keep track and know where you're at in the music with each lesson, you can access that in the link below. So we finished off lesson 1 on a D. So from that D, we have this this kind of triplet, this run up, this run of 3 up to high G, and then we hop down on the F. So we're going to walk through that. So the timing on this is triplet, triplet, D-da-da. So da-da-da-da. So just to get it in your head a little bit. And we do have a G grace note from the D to the E. If you're not doing G grace notes, don't worry about that. We're just going from D. So D, up the scale 1 note to E. So we drop down those 3 fingers of the bottom hand, lift up the pinky so the bottom hand's in that low A position. And then at the same time, lift up that ring finger, and that's our E. And that's the first note of this triplet. Triplet, D, 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 E. Up to F, just lift 1 finger of the top hand, easy transition. Up to high G, lift up the last top finger. The thumb is still on the back, and that's our triplet. But we're coming at it from the D. And then from there, we hop down onto the F. And then let's add in those embellishments. If you're not doing the embellishments, just pause the video, get comfortable with that, and we'll add in more to this chunk here. But if we're doing embellishments, we're going to go from the D to that first note of the triplet, the E, with the G grace note. So that top finger of the top hand has to lift to initiate that whole movement, and then that top finger comes down. That can be a really tricky grace note not to get any crossing noises, because there's a whole lot of finger movement going on there. So pause the video, work on that. When you're comfortable with that, then we'll move on into the triplet. And then we have a F doubling. This is a much easier embellishment. From the G to do that F doubling, and really it's kind of like a half doubling. We just drop down to the F by dropping down the top finger, and then that top finger does another up and down. So it's like a G grace note after you come down to the F. So there's our F doubling from the high G. So all together, this is what this chunk sounds like. And we have a little bit more we're going to add on, and then we'll tie it into that first section we did in lesson 1. So we've landed on that high, that F. From the F, we're going to go down to the E again. If you're not doing an embellishment, you just drop 1 finger down. And we're just walking down the scale, E back to D. And we'll add in embellishments in a moment, but without embellishments, we're on that D. We do a quick B and right back to D again. So from D down to B, so we have to drop the top 2 fingers of the bottom hand, lift up those bottom 2, and right away back to D. So that B is quite a short note. So let's add embellishments, and then we'll add it into lesson 1. And again, the link's below for all the lessons if you want to jump ahead or review previous lessons or take a look at the sheet music I have. So we're on the F. We're going to go down to that E with a doubling. So we're going to So we're going to actually lift up that top finger, second finger comes down, top finger comes down, and then our second grace note comes in with that second finger does it up and down. And then our next embellishment is after we get to that E down to D, our next embellishment on that quick B, we're going to do a G grace note. So top finger lifts, we go down to the B, top finger comes down, and then we pop up to that D again. No embellishment going up to that last D. And that little one you can practice just to make sure you're getting that nice crisp G grace note and that B's not slowing down when you add in that G grace note. So once more, here's this little chunk, and then I'll tie it into the lesson 1 chunk. And then here it is with the lesson 1 chunk. So good luck with this. Can't wait to see it in lesson 3. And again, click on the link below for all the workshop details. Until next time, happy piping.